You may have heard that Kenyans in the diaspora send home billions of shillings, but some of it goes to waste through relatives and friends in fake projects. There are also unreliable contractors and professionals, but some in the diaspora have found smarter ways of getting their projects done.
Engage the right partners.
On today's show, we will bring you an interesting case study, a project by 300 Kenyans in Kitisuru on the Nairobi-Kiambu border. And this will be through the eyes of one of their officials, Wilson Kimani, who lives here in Atlanta. We will also talk to the contractor and the architect on the ground.
KQ Cargo did not stop operating.
Also on this show, KQ's cargo business on the New York route amid COVID-19. And on My Magical Kenya, my recent experience on Dunga Beach in Kisumu. Welcome, I'm Alex Chamwada. When you hear about remittances from abroad, the cash would be coming into projects like this. Kitisuru Amani Gardens is a project of JRN Investment Group that brings together over 300 Kenyans living in the US. It is located on the outskirts of the posh Kitisuru on the Nairobi-Kiambu border. Works are ongoing. I find the principal architect, Francis Gitau Mungai, and Javier Singh, the CEO of Landmark Holdings, the main contractor for this project, inspecting the works.
What ordinarily happens is that people back home are told, no, don't use a contractor because a contractor is expensive. Don't use professionals because professionals are expensive. And in the end, what they do is that they lose the money they would have spent on professionals, and they also lose the money they thought they would save by using Juakali contractors, and it's a sort of disaster. But a project like this is a testimony that you can have Kenyans living abroad, investing effectively, and getting the project done to the standards that they know back in America where they live.
So we are about just over 50% of the project. We are on the verge of completing all the structures. We are also at the moment completing the sample house, which will be ready in the next 1 month for our buyers and clients to view. So we're progressing very well. We expect to finish the project next year, towards the end of next year, and everything is on schedule, and we're moving on very, very well.
In Atlanta, Georgia, I met Wilson Kimani, the Chief Finance Officer of JRN Investment Group.
We created JRN Investment Group specifically to come and develop ourselves. We are laser focused investment. We are not a church organization. We are not a social organization. We try to keep all that out of the group and just stay focused on
no politics.
We don't do politics.
And is the membership to the group limited to the US?
The organization was formed about 5 years ago, solely started by diasporans in the US. We have now seen it expand also to other diasporans in UK. There are some diasporans who were in the US, have relocated back to Kenya.
The Kitisuru Amani Gardens is being constructed in phases.
Learning from previous organizations, we want to go step by step. Yeah, phase 1, yes, all those they are sold out. We just have a few more to go, and then phase 2 is already now up for sale for those who.
So where is phase 2?
Phase 2, we are building, it's 3 blocks. So phase 1 is one block, block B, and then phase 2 is block A and C.
We have in total 87 units, and we have got 2-bedroom units and 3-bedroom units. All the units are self-contained master bedroom. They have got facilities like washing areas for dobbies and washing machines. They have open kitchens. They have terraces. But on top of that, we have other facilities. Like, for example, we have got a clubhouse, we have swimming pool, and we have got a roof garden. So they're quite unique units.
Their rule, according to Kimani, is to use tested and reliable professionals.
You want to use professionals if you want to do the job right. Like, for example, our architect, he takes care of every single detail in Kenya while we're here. That construction, as you see as it is, we have not been there to see it. We have a professional who's doing his job. We have a contractor who's doing his job. We have had the story of people being sent pictures of almost complete buildings to get there and find nothing. We have learned our lessons, and now we've come to know there are better ways of doing these things.
The group also decided to go the route of self-funding.
We do not have any bank facilities. That's a huge advantage. And for many people, it goes without saying. We have seen great big organizations that have been there for many years that have gotten in trouble, have had some major challenges because of probably not being able to facilitate their bank loans and all that. Not willing, but maybe, as we have seen what COVID has done, you have to honor your obligation with them. So when you, with people like us who are fully funded, you tend to alleviate, you tend to cushion.
We have created over 200 to 300 jobs over the last 1 year, and we continue to create and educate workers. We did have a little bit of a slowdown with COVID. However, with our proper safety measures, we have been able to continue to work at the site and continue to provide people jobs even during this very trying time. All of our machine operators, all of our supervisory staff, all of them are local Kenyans.
We have more on that Kitisuru project by over 300 Kenyans living here in the US. Let's now move to the Kenya to the World segment, and today we focus on Kenya Airways cargo business on the New York route amid COVID-19. When the COVID-19 crisis grounded air travel across the globe, many airlines quickly boosted their cargo services to take advantage of the demand for supplies related to the fight against the pandemic. Kenya Airways was not left behind.
We have been carrying tons of seafood to Asia from the coast of East Africa and all the way down to from Mozambique to China. We have moved medical supplies, surprisingly from Uganda to Southern Africa, a lot of it. We've also been involved in moving electoral material for most African countries which have been doing elections. We also saw a demand for fabric out of Kenya into China for making the PPEs.
Although the non-stop flights on the Nairobi-New York route were affected, Kenya Airways has been transporting cargo between Kenya and the US through Europe by partnering with other airlines.
The importance of resuming flights is the fact now we have the ability to have a direct service, of course. Time is what you're going to achieve more than anything right now. During COVID, it was roughly 7 days between the US and Nairobi. Now you're back to 15 hours.
Generally, the resumption of the non-stop flights on the New York route is a key link not only in the bilateral trade between Kenya and the US, but also to Africa. Cargo business is crucial to the implementation of the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA, which allows for duty-free export of over 6,000 products from the continent. The products include textiles and apparel, coffee, nuts, and cut flowers. Kenya Airways began operating on the New York route in October 2018.
Just pre-COVID, we actually had these flights full completely with all the textile movements. We've been having discussions with our customers. In fact, the US was one of the markets that was really severely impacted. So our customers are very keen to book into this flight. We have a lot of our perishable customers as well, requesting for capacity. In fact, we have one customer who's blocked out 3 tons of flowers on every flight. So this is really quite interesting to see the excitement.
There is another opportunity for Kenya Airways. The national carrier has invested in ultra-modern pharma facilities coinciding with the COVID-19 pandemic. This is to further meet the demand of pharmaceutical products globally in preparation for the huge task of transporting medicines, vaccines, blood samples, and temperature-sensitive cargo by having an end-to-end cold chain logistics solution.
So we are looking at serving Africa with the distribution of the vaccines. There are many points in Africa where many carriers cannot touch.
We want Africa not to be left behind. We want Kenya not to be left behind. So we are ready to participate in the movement of vaccines and the pharmaceutical products.
The good news for Kenya Airways is that JFK, they are in the only facility which is GDP compliant. And GDP means good distribution practices. It means that the facility is able to maintain very fixed temperatures, -20 Celsius. It can cool at 2 to 8 Celsius, and ambient of 15 to 25. So to move pharmaceuticals, you need to be in a GDP compliant facility. Kenya Airways has that facility in JFK.
Meanwhile, the CEO of the JFK International Airport Terminal 4 says the resumption of KQ flights to New York is timely.
We are very happy that now this has been resumed, because that gives a direct access from the east coast of the US to the east coast of Africa. And it's an important route for tourism, and also an important route, and hopefully a more important route in the future for business.
That segment leads us into a short break. When we return, the story of the Kituru Amani project by over 300 Kenyans living in the US continues. Also ahead, my recent experience at the changing Dunga Beach in Kisumu County.
We are doing something very unique here. We are trying to become part of building our country. We have also realized that we can help grow the economy. We feel so proud right now when we get daily reports that there have been several hundred people there working every day. And we know those are families that we are able to help or feed. It's a great pride. It's a great joy, because then we feel that at least that we are making a change.
This is a very unique project. Number one, the location. It is located in one of the richest suburbs of Nairobi, Kitisuru. But because it is on the Kiambu side of the divide, because we're right on the border, we have freedom to do things that ordinarily you wouldn't have done had it been within the Nairobi borders. So we are able to do apartments which are luxurious in nature, and also taking advantage of what the neighborhood has, with open kitchens, the American styles, self-contained bedrooms, and the wonderful views that you have that you would ordinarily not have in other areas.
The shareholders are able to monitor the progress of the project through technology.
It is very interesting because we are in a stage of COVID, and in COVID, you know, something people never knew about, Zoom meetings that we have with our clients, and we have meetings as if they are here. But on top of that, they get progress report every week by way of video cameras, which we use drones to show them progress. And also, when we have meetings, sometimes we invite them into our meetings. So it is like they are present. But even though the COVID slowed down the project, we are still progressing, and it is quite effective.
We have 2-bedroom house and 3-bedroom house. 2-bedroom house goes for 11 million. 3-bedroom house goes for 14 million. The terms of payment is we do a deposit, a commitment fee of 10%, and then the 80% you do during the construction. The other 10% you do when you're exchanging the key with the house when you are handling over.
In October 2020, Kenyans in the diaspora remitted back home over 26 billion Kenya shillings, according to the Central Bank of Kenya. In 2019, total remittances amounted to over 250 billion shillings. North America is the leading source, followed by Europe.
Maybe the only thing I would like to emphasize is that Kenyans out there are afraid of investing home. And the reason why they are afraid is because they have lost money. But they lose money because of the method and the systems that they use to invest. There are people like us, professionally trained, who can take through the process of investing home without any exposure at all, or without losing money at all. Because the way this system operates is that the contractor builds. Once he builds, we value the work. Once you're convinced it is within the standards and the comfort of what is required, we then advise the client to pay. So the key here is that you are paying after building, not before. You don't pay advance payment. You pay once the work is done and valued and satisfied by the professionals. That is correct. So there's no risk at all. But you have to get the correct professionals, and you have to get the correct contractors.
Back to Kimani in Atlanta. And why is it important to invest back home?
They say east or west, home is best. And that question could not be more timely than now. We have seen how quickly things can turn around with this COVID. We have seen political instability and hostility towards immigrants. Anything happened, like turmoil or political instability, and I had to relocate back to Kenya, where would I go? There's also a good number of people who are here who strongly, they would like to work, invest, raise their kids here, but they do not intend to grow old here and end up in nursing homes.
A case study of how Kenyans living abroad are investing back home in a much smarter way. Time now for My Magical Kenya. How about my recent experience at Dunga Beach in Kisumu? Dunga Beach, on the outskirts of Kisumu City, on the shores of Lake Victoria. A key tourist site in the lakeside city. This aerial view tells it all. Anyone who was here a year ago will tell you the place has really changed. A visit here would be incomplete without a tour of this boardwalk. This is an elevated walkway built with wooden planks that enables pedestrians to cross the marshy land here, on which a unique conservation center sits.
This is a hardwood, and the waste oils on top of it, even when it rains.
John Okumu is an official of Dunga Ecotourism and Environmental Youth Group that runs this center.
This is the papyrus reeds, and with the papyrus reeds, it creates what we call Dunga wetland. So in Dunga wetland, we have not only the papyrus reeds, but we also have the Sesbania sesban. It's a type of freshwater mangrove known as the Sesbania sesban. It can really grow and do well inside the water. The papyrus reeds plays a major role in the wetland, because you find that when it rains up the mountains, the water will be coming inside the lake. So it's a role of the wetland to purify the water. So you find that all the stone particles are being stacked there, and it protects it from all flowing inside the water with that water. And it also creates a better breeding zone for the fish. When it is rough inside there, inside the major lake, but inside here or around the wetland, it's more cool because of the roots and fish can easily breed inside the lake, then it goes to the deeper sides.
This idea was mooted in 2016 and became a reality thanks to the support from the French Embassy in Kenya.
We also create the awareness in the community, because you find that some years back, fishermen, they could come around, cut down the papyrus reeds and turn it into mats. Others also turn it into firewood, and that was more dangerous. So we came out moving around the shorelines, beaches which is around, and also informing women and youths who are interfering with the wetland the importance of conserving and preserving the wetlands around here.
And there are those who come here just to party.
There's a place where people normally eat, like now there are some youths who are doing their small party there. You can eat below the watchtower or on top of the watchtower, in a way that when you eat, you are above the wetland and you can be able to see birds and view the lake.
This center has a museum too.
This is our upcoming museum. Stocked some of the music instruments that used to be there before. Like Nyatiti is there. This is Agulu. This is Agulu. Ya kuweka maji. Yeah, we locally we call it dapi. So once you put the water, it will make water to be more cold. Nowadays we use fridge. Oh, this one is osadi. It's a traditional. It's a traditional fish trap. Yeah, or the fishing basket. This is being used in the wetlands and also in the rivers. Oderu is also here. The basket which is being, we use the sticks to make the baskets and then cover it with the cow dung. Yeah, so this one you can even use to separate, to clean the maize. Yeah. Millet and all that. This is dried, the fish cover, the fish skin, which is very important also. Yeah, there's some people use it to make the leathers. Yeah, and the leather you can use it to make the shoes or even kofia.
This spa is a popular place for photography. I guess no visitor will leave the beach without taking a photo here. Eateries are mushrooming here pretty fast. The place is known for delicious fish. A place I would visit again and again. From Kitisuru on the Kiambu-Nairobi border to Dunga Beach in Kisumu, where I enjoyed delicious fish, to Atlanta, where I've hosted today's show, What a Small World. And that's what Daring Abroad is known for. We are glad you found time to be with us, and let's do it again next time. Bye-bye.